cold weather like Montreal. Throughout the year, we play football, we play cricket, we go to the beach, and this is not a curse, it's a blessing. We have oil, we have gas, we have lots of sunshine, lots of strong winds, and we have lots of waste that can now be used for recycling and for energy. So I'm going to start off with a very funny statement, one of which I borrowed from, I'm going to borrow from my old colleague here. He says, oil do not spoil. So you take that. And the other one is, everything about oil is slippery. Price, consumption, you know. This presentation was put together by myself, Kathryn, Siriram, who is she's working with Schlumberger now, but she worked with me as a research assistant, and one of my students, Kathryn, who works at the Ministry of Finance. And we're going to focus on Trinidad and Tobago and the whole question of fiscal incentives to promote energy efficiency and renewable energy in the country. So let's see if my eye is. Yes. Okay. So very quickly, this is a story with regards to world energy demand, as well put across as well by our good friend from University of Kuwait. Look at the percentage here. 60% of the demand will be based on oil and gas. So we have to bear that in mind. All right, and in terms of supply, okay, by 2100, the supply situation will be dominated by renewable energy. So the transition, based on the research that is done, transition from coal, oil, gas, and renewable energy. And that is supported by some of my colleagues at MIT in choosing amongst options. Okay, what is the present position in Trinidad and Tobago? Well, like most countries that are blessed with oil, the economy is more or less lopsided, dominance and dependence on revenues from oil and gas. As we mentioned on this first day, 45% of the country's GDP, 55% of government revenue, and the irony is 3% of total employment. 3% of total employment here with regards to the gas situation as obtained at the present time. Previous to that, it would have been a bit higher because of the more labor-intensive oil industry. So what happened in Trinidad? We were a net exporter of oil, particularly sweet crude coming from Galiuta, where I worked. And in fact, Amoco in those days built a special refinery in Texas to refine that oil. Sweet oil, very sweet oil. But now the country has turned into a situation where a net importer of oil, because with the increasing number of vehicles on the road, we need to import oil from Venezuela to make up the shortfall to send to the refinery in an effort to supply our cars domestically with fuel, and also all of the Caribbean islands. So we have turned from a net exporter of oil to a net importer of oil, but the country still predominates with regards to natural gas. And these are 99% of the power in the country supplied from natural gas, and we have some power stations. Okay, this is our consumption distribution here: 57%, 30%, 11% with regards to the various sectors, regards to power generation. Now, note very, very well is 6 cents US per kilowatt hour. So a little later I will speak about the paradox of plenty. When you have plenty of something, you tend to waste, and then consumption is difficult to get buy-in for consumers to voluntarily and consciously not waste. How do you do that psychologically? I don't know. The researchers will come up with the solution. All right. Okay, so we are lagging behind. We are lagging behind, regionally especially, and also internationally with regards to developing our renewable energy and energy efficiency initiatives. And it comes along with the sort of cultural thinking where God is a Trinidadian and everything is fine with us, and don't worry, that kind of thinking. The researchers will show otherwise. All right, so these are some of the options. Solar, wind, waste energy, as I mentioned this morning, we are working on that. Green buildings and standards. Well, the next time around, if I'll invite you, I'll be wearing 100% green. Now I'm only halfway green. But we have to develop some standards and so on that must be consistent with international standards. And with regards to energy efficiency, there must be programs with regards to energy audits. Now, I must mention with regards to energy audits, by the middle of this month, by the time I get back home, I will have to mark 2 practicals based on energy audits. One with the Massey group, now the Massey group, where we took one of the buildings and did an energy audit of that building, and we are going to green that building actually. And the other one with the Ansa Makal group, and that group also owned a chain of hotels in the Caribbean, and I remember, I think it was 2010, Alamo 2011 in St. Lucia, where we had the conference that large piece of real estate was owned by a Trinidadian. So with the Ansa Makal group, we took one of the largest buildings, and the students did the baseline studies and so on, and the results going to come. So actually, Mr. Sadga, who is a Syrian actually, is very much interested in greening that building to the extent where he wants to change out the glass and use solar panels in the glass. So lots of opportunities, LEDs as well. So if anybody in the audience here wants to come to Trinidad and invest in renewable energy, you're speaking to the right person. Okay, so what else about the main challenges? Well, high capital costs, we all know about that. When we compare the capital cost for natural gas, used as a fuel for power, and again renewable energy. The capital cost is high, already maintenance cost is much lower. The problem, as we spoke about yesterday, is that consumers would prefer to buy a cheaper water heater that may last the same time as a solar water heater, which is about 3 times more expensive. So some of the fiscal incentives have to address that issue. Well, what else can we say about lack of awareness and public education? We have been preaching this over and over again. The issue here is, how do you convert awareness into action? How do you convert awareness into action? And as was pointed out, if there's one thing we have to take away from this conference here, is that we as leaders in the home must lead by example at home, so that our stakeholders and shareholders would follow. Because the university of the home is, to me, the real university. What you do at home is what made all of us who are what we are. And our parents were the principals and co-vice chancellors, and of course the mother was the real boss. So some of the challenges, market and commercialization, we spoke about that. And the politics, the political dimension, the legislative dimension, this is missing here. So when we have plenty, we tend to not think about foresight and a rainy day, what we're going to do. So we're not preparing ourselves for the eventuality that one day the oil and the gas is going to run out, and what our generations fall back on. So that's why I designed the MBA in Sustainable Energy Management. The aim of this program really is to change the mindset of Trinidadians and Tobagonians in the region, from transiting from dependence on oil and gas and move towards renewable energy. And this is consistent with my colleague who is the Minister of Energy, who actually teaches for me sometimes. Moving on quickly, some of the existing fiscal incentives. The budget addresses the issues. There are some customs related issues as well, but the enforcement of what is stated in the budget is the problem. Because customs are saying they cannot act until they get a circular from the Ministry of Finance. And the Ministry of Finance, and even though the budget is passed in Parliament, the Ministry of Finance has not passed a circular to the Customs Department, which actually reports to the Minister of Finance. So I have to talk to selected incentives with regards to solar and energy efficiency, depreciation, wear and tear. There are some things in there. Tax allowances up to about 150% on the cost of commissioning energy audits. So this is something that companies will have to take advantage of once the administrative processes are in place, especially if it is computerized, to process the returns. And this is regards to solar energy. So notice the quantums here, because one of the issues is that even though that is passed in the budget, it is not attractive enough. Okay. So recommendations. I developed some short-term, medium-term, and long-term recommendations, not only from a fiscal standpoint. Okay. We have something in Trinidad called the Great Fund Levy, and I am advocating that it be increased from 0.1% to something more substantial, I would say about 10%, and use the incremental or the difference for real research when it comes to renewable energy. Right now, the regulations does not include research and development. It's just for more very light greening initiatives on the road and so on, something what we call the CPF in Trinidad. So we have some tax reductions, 5,000 to 10,000, and bringing the agricultural sector into consideration, and farmers provide some incentives for them, especially when it comes to water conservation. One of my major advocates with regards to the short term is to develop strategies to lobby the government through the various special groups and so on, to lobby the government to really not only what we talk, but really provide some very attractive incentives to sway people, more towards renewable energy. Medium term, you see this problem here? The subsidy problem is the real problem. Right. One argument is, well, the oil and gas belongs to the citizens of the country, they should be benefited from it. Government's objective is to optimize rent under a production sharing contract. So let the citizens benefit from it, and if they choose to waste it, well then so be it. But that is a sort of narrow-minded thinking. So to me, there need to be a balance. If you want to reduce the subsidy, do it gradually, because if you do it drastically, it's going to cause chaos. It is what is called political suicide. So it will have to be gradual on the one hand, and at the same time, try to promote renewable energy to substitute for the shortfall on the other hand. So it has to be a balancing act. Yesterday during lunch, we were speaking about the electric cars. And again, there's an opportunity if anybody in class, and I'm going to say in class, if anybody here wants to establish an agency in Trinidad for electric vehicles, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Trinidadians here. We will be willing to talk to you to provide a sponsor or an agency for you to. But we are looking at that actually. So I'll wrap up very quickly now. So these are some of the long-term recommendations. I have 3 students who works at Tech in the energy program, and we are doing lots of research now to see how we can make recommendations to the government to amend the Tech Act to allow allow citizens and homeowners to put solar panels on their roof and then feed back excess power to the grid. This one here, 8 cents, I still think it's too low because it will still encourage some wastage. All right. Conclusion. Well, what can we reduce some of this? We have a lot of potential in Trinidad and Tobago, right? And we need to convert that potential into reality. At the transit, the government, has to support the initiative, but historically in Trinidad and Tobago and in the Caribbean, if you're going to wait for the government to do something, it will take a long time. And it would be up to the pressure groups, the voluntary organizations, and the citizens themselves. And to tie this back to the whole discussion we had on the first day with regards to the social network. So within our streets, our neighbors, we need to start back talking to each other and encourage each other. Well, don't throw your rubbish on the side. We can all collect it together and take it to our dump. So that's some of the thought-provoking things. Decreasing cost of renewable energy, raising the price of fossil fuels. So that's it. It was a pleasure being here and meeting you all and talking to you all about green. I promise you next time I come up, I'll wear green from head to foot.
So please remember, if we all help and do a little bit, it will make a big difference.